Hi, team. This is George. Can you believe that we're in week 6? Nilofer and I have been having a fantastic time working with everyone on our discussion questions, projects, and everything else we have going on in class about assessment. So I just want to take a moment to say thank you for all the effort that you've put into our class because it's not easy to be an adult learner. This isn't the only thing you have going on in life. So I appreciate all the effort you've been making to dig down deep into the discussions and actually try to get some useful tools out from these discussions rather than just having that cursory surface level sort of discussion. So thank you for that. So let's jump into week 6, results and ROI. Um, Even though this is the last of the assessments for levels 1 through 4, it, in my opinion, it needs to be started first. You need to have your eyes on the ROI and the outcome or results uh, from the very beginning of the training. I always go from the end, keeping the end in mind, and move backwards. No matter what model I have to plug in assessments, you need to begin with the end in mind, as Dale Carnegie would say, because what that does is that keeps our focus where it should be. So if, let's say, if I'm in manufacturing and we've been having a lot of quality control issues, we've been finding a lot of defect rates are high, you want to be able to affect that metric. You want to be able to affect the metric that others are getting judged by. So that way you can plug in your training to the success of this metric. And in the case of quality assurance or defects, it would be the defect rate coming down. So that is hugely important. So we want to know why we're building the training. So you really have to do a needs assessment onto why we're doing the training. And generally, I've seen, because you'll get different answers from folks, especially directors, vice presidents, people on the floor, things like that. You're going to get different perspectives on why you're building the training. So you need to ask that question several times to work to the bottom of it. In marketing and with getting a question answered, ask why 3 times. Why really works. Why we're doing something. Uh, why are we going to build a training? Because our defect rate is bad. Okay, well, because why is the defect rate bad? And then you just keep digging further and further. And by the time you get to the third why, generally you have a good uh, core question that you can answer, a good core value that you can attach to the metrics with. So, and always as you're building the training, what metrics will it affect? Because a lot of people talk about cost on return on investment and results for level 4 um, assessment. A lot of people don't do it because of cost, but you can dramatically reduce the cost if you keep the ROI and the results in mind as you build the training. So if you start backwards first, you can drastically reduce the cost of these. So, and then the questions, what metric will it affect and why will it affect the metric? Because you want to be able to answer these. Because if you see a metric moving down, um, when a metric is moving in a positive direction for an organization, they're going to take the credit. And if it moves in a negative way for an organization, they're going to blame training. So this is an interesting um, perspective to take. So you need to be able to speak to every aspect of that. And then how do we do that? How do we drive the cost of level 4s down? And how do we make sure that we're aligning with the metrics? Well, just like in real estate, it's location, location, location. Well, in assessment, it's align, align, align. So first take a look, mission, vision, and values, organizational goals. As we build our training, we align with all those. The level 4 cost is going to come down because we're building it in from that perspective. Everything's aligned with organizational goals, with the mission, vision, and values of the larger company or organization. So everything's aligned. So if you're building with alignment in mind, with that end in mind, as Dale Carnegie would say, you're reducing the cost of your level 4 because you're attaching to metrics and things that matter to that organization. So that is a huge way to align. And what I've noticed when I've been able to do that, or let's say when I've took a purposeful effort to do that, uh, partnerships automatically are created, and they're deep and lasting partnerships if training enters into this with that mind of what can I do for you. And To Kirkpatrick or not Kirkpatrick is going to be our second discussion question, I believe it is. So Holton comes up with a framework and he talks about how Kirkpatrick is wrong. And so what we need to do, and this happens all the time in academics, well, anywhere it happens all the time. Somebody thinks they're right, somebody says they're wrong. So we have to evaluate from our perspective and from all that we know and see, is Holton crazy or is Kirkpatrick just going over the top? So we're going to take time and we're going to look. I'm not going to weigh in on my thoughts, yes, because I don't want to deter the conversation any way, shape, or form. Because especially in academia, we do a lot of studies, we read a lot, we do a lot of things practically as well. So we need to be able to say this framework is simply wrong. We're not going to go in this direction. Or, you know what, this framework is right, this other one is wrong. So the only thing constant here is change. So I don't want to influence the conversation. So let's have some fun with this and figure out which way to go. And most of all, whether you're in school or performing an overall assessment, we have to enjoy the process because we're going to learn so much through the assessment process as we roll it out for different programs, projects, organizations. So think of it from a process oriented perspective and just enjoy immersing yourself into that process because evaluations and assessment can be sticky. It can not hurt it sometimes. Well, I guess it could hurt, depending on how bad the assessment goes. Um, but enjoy the process because we're always going to learn something from it. And no matter what we find, we're going to learn from it. So I hope you've been having a great 6 weeks because Noah and I have both really enjoyed our time engaging in class. So have a fantastic week and we'll see you in the discussion boards.